Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day one of our 21-day challenge, where we're reading through Jesus' Sermon on the Mount a piece at a time and just simply doing what he says to do. And, as Jesus starts off his Sermon on the Mount, he actually starts off with some encouragement here in Matthew chapter 5. Listen to what he says in verses 3 through 5 here. He says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." First of all, what does that mean to be blessed? Well, it's the idea of receiving God's favor, of being in a position where God is pleased with you, where God is approving of what you're doing. And as a result of God's favor, you actually have this deep joy, a joy that isn't affected by whatever circumstances you're currently facing. Which, man, doesn't that sound good? So how do we get there? Well, three things Jesus says here are that you're blessed when you're poor in spirit, when you mourn, and when you're meek. What do those mean in context? Well, first, the idea of being poor in spirit is the idea of seeing yourself as you really are spiritually, accepting that, yeah, I've broken God's commands, I've sinned, I'm imperfect, I'm far from perfect by his standards, and I need his forgiveness. And the second one, the idea of mourning in this part actually refers to mourning over your sin, not just mourning in general. It's about being genuinely sorry for the times you've sinned, actually grieving over the wrong things you've done in God's sight. And the idea of meekness here is this idea of being gentle, of dealing with people in a kind way, with humility, which I suppose is kind of the overarching theme of these 3 points, right? Realizing we're all the same in God's sight. We all have the same need for his forgiveness. No one's better than anyone else in terms of that, right? It's not about weakness when we say meekness. It's about strength under control. If you can get there, as far as your heart goes, Jesus says, those 3 things, you'll be blessed. For yours is the kingdom of heaven, he says. God will comfort you when you get to that place of grieving over your sin. And you'll inherit the earth one day when Jesus comes back. So, I don't know about you, but I'd say those do definitely sound like the definition of being blessed, right? So today's challenge, how are you doing with just that overall heart of humility? Can you take some time today with God throughout the day to just be honest with him about where you are spiritually and your need for him? And can we stay honest with him today and even use whatever he's given us on this earth for his kingdom? Can we humble ourselves before the Lord today? If so, the Bible promises he'll lift us up. And that will always be more blessed than trying to lift ourselves up.